Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Lucas, and today I have a story that will leave you completely speechless on how fucking stupid I truly am. So with that being said, start rolling up your blunts or pour out yourself a drink or whatever you do to get comfy, because I promise this is a story you're not gonna want to miss. So let's dive right into it. So a quick backstory on what acid is in case you're not familiar with it. It's either going to come in like a tiny piece of paper dripped with LSD that you'll let sit on your tongue for about 5 or 10 minutes before swallowing, or it'll be a gel tab, which is essentially a mini Tide Pod also filled with LSD that you'll do the same thing with. Now, acid is kind of similar to shrooms, but it's much stronger and it lasts a lot longer, about 12 hours to be exact. And it's going to be a long 12 hours because time is so distorted and you'll be so fucked up that you can't do much more than just sit down and start melting into your couch essentially. And it'll make everything you're looking at like extremely wavy and colorful, and you'll feel like this warmth wash over your whole body and like you're getting tickled like I used to when I was a child. Wait, what? No, not funny. I'm just kidding. So now that you know what acid is, this story starts off on a normal Saturday afternoon with my friends Noel and Mohammed, who are usually present when most of my poor decisions are being made. Now, nonetheless, we were super bored and decided it would be a fantastic idea to drop some acid. Now, at this point, we haven't had a solid acid plug for a while, so when we wanted to trip, we would have to go on Snap or Instagram and start asking around, which can be sus as fuck because you're either going to end up buying drugs off of like a friend of a friend or an undercover cop, or you're just going to get robbed. So after sitting around for a few hours waiting to get connected with someone, luckily Noel was able to get in contact with some random kid that was only a few blocks away from my crib. So we pack up and head to this complete stranger's house to buy some acid, and when we pull up, I can immediately tell it's like a trap house because it looked literally borderline abandoned. So we walk in and get greeted by some like college kid our age who was obviously tripping balls. So we knew we were in the right place, and behind him is like the messiest room you could ever imagine. Like there's a shitty mattress on the floor and just like trash and shit everywhere, but that's not super uncommon when buying drugs, so we just kind of brushed it off, right? So we buy the acid and we bounce back to my crib to start our LSD journey. Now, I'm a tripping veteran and decided it would be smart to take 3 tabs while Noel took 2 and Mohammed took 1. Meaning I knew from the jump I was going to be the most fucked up, which isn't uncommon. Anywho, we're all just chilling in the room waiting for this acid to kick in, and it'll usually take about 30 to 45 minutes to start tripping, but this time an hour rolls by and we're not feeling a thing. So obviously we're thinking we got scammed, which looking back is what I had wished had happened, but in reality we just had ingested a ticking time bomb that was literally about to blow in our face. So just like that, out of nowhere it kicked in, and it kicked in fucking hard. At first it felt like pretty normal and we're like watching TV and laughing and shit, but within 10 minutes we just started feeling dizzy, nauseous, and it's just not good. So I go in the bathroom and immediately start throwing up, which is a huge red flag because that doesn't really ever happen. But what was even worse is when Noel and Mohammed also started throwing up shortly after. So we definitely knew something was amiss, but it was too early in the trip. We couldn't tell exactly what was wrong. So with that being said, there was nothing to really do but just to ride it out like a fucking shitty roller coaster. But after like an hour went by, we all just felt absolutely drained and miserable. We were having like the worst trip ever, and we're just trying to consolidate each other to make each other's trips as bearable as possible, but it truly did just feel like we were living like in a nightmare. And don't get me wrong, I've had bad trips in the past, but nothing could even compare to what we were experiencing this time, and it's really hard to put into perspective, but imagine you're like having a fever dream, except time is super distorted. You feel like everything around you is just harsh and cold, and it's just horrible. So at this point, Mohammed has completely buried himself underneath like 20 pillows. Noel is staring up at a wall, and I'm just staring at both of them, and none of us are talking. Then Noel proposed the bright idea of going outside at 2 a.m. to get some fresh air, so we do exactly that. We didn't even make it 20 seconds outside before I felt even worse than I did inside, so we just take like a quick walk around the block and we go back inside, and we spent the next like 10 plus hours just having the worst trip of our life. I'm hallucinating, seeing demons, dragons,
fire, hell itself. I'm just the worst things you could ever possibly fathom to just have a horrible, horrible trip. So that's basically this whole story. I can't really remember what I was actually like experiencing when I was taking these research chemicals, but the message behind why I wanted to record this is please don't take drugs if you're not 100% certain where it's coming from, what it is. It's just a really bad idea, and we're honestly, or at least I'm honestly, pretty grateful that nothing worse happened to us during this trip other than we just essentially had a really bad trip. So hopefully you can take something from this story and not make the same mistakes I did. But if you enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.